Hey you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! SilverDaddy.com. I'm YouTube famous now, available in 2018. The album, Dad AF, the Beauty Killer Edition. If I can't be beautiful, I'd rather just die. All right, let's get right into this video. Today's video is not sponsored by one of my all-time favorite lip plumpers of the world, by DAWSON'S. So it's very important when you're doing drama videos to have a supple, plump lip while you're talking about drama. So let's get right into this. Okay, yesterday I did a video reacting to Shane Dawson. I know, I'm crazy. Jeffree Star, Jacqueline Hill, man MUA.
Jeffree Star, Jacqueline Hill, Manny MUA, Nikki Tutorials, a goose to sweetheart, James I'm Riverdale, James Charles, hi sisters, Lorelei, subscribe, Patrick Scott, in the house.
I had to. Beast. Anyway, yesterday I did a video and reacting to Shane Dawson's first part of his 5-part series about Jeffree Star. And go watch the video, see what I had to say. I had a lot to say about it. And I was rather surprised by the video, honestly, you know? I really enjoyed it a lot. And today I'm going to say, I don't know, kind of some of my personal responses to this. Because if you've watched my videos for a long time, now I have 4 channels, so you get a little bit of different kind of video content videos. I'm a dude with a camera, okay? I'm not a content creator. You get kind of different, you know, ideas of who I am on all different 4 channels, but if you've watched me on this channel for a long time, you know that I am like a million fan of a lot of these people. And yesterday I said I wasn't like a super fan of Jeffree Star, but I'm still a fan. And let me tell you what was really interesting about this part of the series. Because today we're going to talk about part 2, okay? Which is where Shane Dawson gets made up into makeup by James Charles to look like Jeffree Star. What was interesting about it to me was that the main focus on this video was discussing all of the music of Jeffree Star, which for me is where the whole kind of like, if I am a fan, the whole fandom started for me, if that makes sense. It's way back when he was making the music. And so I'm going to talk about that in a second. I'm going to talk actually about him and James Charles, because I think a lot of times, you know, like when I used to watch videos back in the day and people would say like, oh, well, when I talk to so-and-so. So I want you guys to know, like, from like no shits, like, and this is not me, like every time I talk about, oh, I talked to so-and-so or whatever, people are always like, well, you're name dropping. No, I want you guys to know what these people are really like ding-a-ling-a-ling, sham-a-lang-dang, ding-dong, ding. How's the drama phone? Oh, hi, James, how are you? I mean, hi, sisters. So anyway, I want to give you guys like what it's really like to talk to these people on the phone too, because it's really not a whole lot different than what you see on camera, honestly. And I think that's the thing that was like the most surprising to me back then. But we're going to get into this video of what Shane did. And I really liked part 2. I really liked Jeffree addressing the music part of it. Because honestly, as somebody that really liked his music, I mean, Prom Night and Beauty Killer are like 2 of my all-time favorite songs, honestly. In fact, I will show you, before I was making this video, I had Beauty Killer pulled up on my phone, and I was listening to it in iTunes. You too can go buy it on iTunes. There, Jeffree, I did a little commercial for you, not that you need me to. But, so I was really excited to hear him address the music part of it, because I always kind of wondered what happened, you know, like, he was on the Warped Tour, which was a pretty big deal, and I remember back in the day, do y'all remember this? Oh my god, on the Facebook? When you would just like put music lyrics down, and then it would confuse the world, and you would just like put music lyrics about like how you felt about something, and I remember it was actually a line from Beauty Killer. I don't remember what line it was, but like I put it on there, and all these people were like, they had no idea it was like a Jeffree Star line. Hold on a second. I need to fix my lip plumber. But anyway, you know, nobody had any idea that it was like this Jeffree Star lyric. And my one friend, Matt, he put on there something, he was like, I love Jeffree Star. And so like, I just happened to go to like his Facebook, which I hadn't in a long time. Hey Matt, if you're watching this, which I doubt, he lives in Florida with his boyfriend now. But anyway, he had like a picture of him meeting Jeffree Star, and Nathan was in the background. And I was like, oh my god, this is hilarious. So, you know, I think that music brings a lot of people together, and I think today, like, makeup and the beauty industry are bringing a lot of people together and having like interests. But that's where it really started for me, and I'm going to tell you about the phone call, the very first phone call I ever had with Jeffree Star, because it kind of starts with that. But I was interested when I started seeing, because I really thought Shane was going to make us wait like 4 or 5 days for part 2. Did you not think that? Like, you know, it's always interesting to me that they wait. And I was kind of sitting there and I was thinking to myself, you know, like, I would love for Shane just to boom, 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 like feed all of the parts of this out. But really, it would be smart for him if he waited for like 3 days and then like let everybody who's going to possibly see part 1, because for the money, for the AdSense, for the views, everybody would go watch that. And then when part 2 came out, all of the people had already seen part 1, if that makes sense. Instead of like some people, I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I don't know much about clothes, but my hair, heat miser! My hair looks fierce. But anyway, I was going to do my hair for y'all today, but then I was like, screw it, nobody cares. But you know, like, I think like from a money point of view, from an AdSense point of view, it would have been smart for him to do that, and he didn't. And I was like, he just wants to release this series because he really like is excited about it. And Rylan last night, I think it was on Twitter, he tweeted out this picture of Shane like working at the desk. And it was very endearing, and it was like this, he had this message with it, and I loved what Rylan had to say in there, and it reminded me a lot of, I mean, I'm no Shane Dawson, let's just be for real, I'm on no level like that ever, you know, whatsoever, but like my husband's very supportive of me in the same way, you know, and like when I'm like working over on the computer, like trying to get stuff up or whatever, he's like over here, and you know, and so I loved that part of it. And I think that's what I love about this series so far, is that all of the people involved are very, very endearing, you know? And I think we're seeing a very real side of everybody that's brought into this, whether it's the assistants, whether it's James Charles, whether it's, you know, Nathan, whether it's Jeffree Star, whether it's, you know, Shane Dawson himself. It's all very, very endearing, and so I love that. So anyway, it was interesting to me, though. I was on Twitter last night, and I started seeing, like, Jeffree Star was, like, responding to people talking about the series, and Keemstar, it's Keemstar approved, okay? So, if it's Keemstar approved, you know. He tweeted out, damn, Shane Dawson, you did it again. This Jeffree Star documentary is everything. And then I went up here, and Shane Dawson tweeted out, guys, Pizza Hut is going to help me give away free pizzas for this Friday's episode 3 premiere. It's not sponsored. They literally just want to help throw some pizza parties for you guys to watch part 3. Tweet Shane Jeffree and have a fun pic of you watching a new series to enter. You know I'm going to do that, okay? Because listen, this one right here, I love free anything, free pizza, even the better. So I had said in my video yesterday that I think that something's changed in Jeffree, and I do really believe that he wants to be a different, better person. I really do believe that. And I will tell you that how I judge that in somebody, okay? I don't, like, a lot of times I think it's really hard, and I'm not going to tell anybody how to feel. I did a video the other day talking about drama and, you know, all the different issues of drama, and one of the questions that somebody asked me was, is it morally right to support somebody that other people have issues with? So let's just use Jeffree, for example, okay? A lot of people have huge issues with his racist past, and I do believe that it is going to be addressed in this video, okay? In this video series. Like, I think it will be seriously addressed. There's no way Shane Dawson's gonna walk away from this video and not address that. I don't believe that. So, but you know, like, you support who you want to support, okay? Like, if you want to support somebody, support them, but have the facts to back it up. So here are my facts, okay? That I don't ever, like, forget what somebody's done in the past. Never. I don't forget what they've done. But if they want to better themselves as a human being, because I do think that's the goal of all of us in this world, is to better ourselves. This has turned into a Peterisms. If you watch my Peterisms channel, you know this is like one of my Peterisms videos. But I think that's the goal of all of us, is to better ourselves, to be a more heightened version of who we are. And to some degree, that's what Jeffree and Shane kind of show through both of these videos that we've seen before, is like, they're the example of the American dream to some degree, you know, that they came from nothing and rose above it. And I love that, you know, not just from a financial level, but the influence and all this kind of stuff that they have now. So anyway, you know, how I base somebody's changing on, right, is consistency. To see somebody's consistent behavior over time, like 6 months to a year, it's still very, very soon to say, yes, he's completely a changed person. But if 3 years down the road, all we're seeing is positivity put out by him and no more problematic behavior, I'm not saying he's not going to go off on somebody every once in a blue moon, because that'll happen, okay? then yes, I think that's a changed person. And, but you know, I'm not here to tell anybody what that felt like or what that's like for them. So I think everybody has to judge that on their own. And I think that you have to decide who you want to support and who you don't, you know, and, not lose friends over it. You know, like, don't argue with your friends over, well, I like this person, I like that person. At the end of the day, these are all, like, celebrities, so it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see anybody. Don't be fighting with your girlfriend over Jeffree Star. She wouldn't want it that way, and it don't matter anyway, okay? So anyway, he put on here, and I said yesterday in my video that I think that Jeffree is changing as a person. I think he's a different person today, and I think he's really ready to just, like, strip it all down and say, like, look, this is who I am. And I think he knows that Shane Dawson's the right person to do that for him, that he can, like, show all this stuff and not be afraid. And, like, one of the things that's interesting to me is that Shane keeps on mentioning that, you know, that he was, like, intimidated by Jeffree or scared of Jeffree, and Jeffree's, like, surprised about that. And I'm like, girl, why are you surprised about that? Like, I think people love you, but are afraid of you. Like, if Jeffree Star walked into a room, I'd be like, I mean, he very much has had kind of this, it reminds me of, like, Grace, a lot of you, like, that are younger, this is going to go way over your head, but Grace Jones in A View to a Kill, like, very much the Bond villain is kind of, like, sidekick, you know, is who... Well, actually, Jeffree Star would make a great Bond villain, but like, that's kind of who Jeffree Star's image reminds me of, and I think he's ready for that image to change, which I do think is why he's doing a lot of collabs with people. I do think it's why he's allowed Shane Dawson into his home to see who he is. And he tweeted out last night, I've kept so much hidden for so long, I feel like I'm slowly becoming free again, and I'm overwhelmed, wow. And, you know, I think for any of us that have just said, you know, like, fuck it, this is who I am, it is scary. It's making yourself completely vulnerable and raw. And that alone with this series, I do think should speak volumes about who he is as a person and who he wants to be. But like I always say in all my videos, you can put this stuff out there, it's what you do after it, right? And when Jeffree made his apology video a year ago, I said that then. And one of the reasons why I think I'm not super hard on him, because I've done a lot of thinking about this since I made my video yesterday, is that since that video came out, I haven't seen, I've seen small incidences of it, but nothing like in comparison to who he was 10, 15 years ago. So, you know, I think it is a different time today. I don't know. I think, like, for me, I want to see consistently who he becomes as a person. So anyway, and then he put out, oh my God, episode 1 is #1 on trending. What an amazing and insane way to start this journey. This is just the beginning. I love you. Shane Dawson and Andrew, who is Shane's videographer. And then he tweets out, no lies, just facts. And then he kind of tweets out, oh, and then this was cute. He put this picture out of him and Nathan and put Destiny underneath there. The hardest choices require the strongest wills. So now Jeffree Star is becoming like the world motivator. I mean, I'm dying from coughing right now because I've got so much to say. Anyway, so a few things I wanted to say was, let's just go in and dissect this video. But it's going to be hard for me to dissect it without kind of telling you guys about some of the background that I have had with these people. And this is not me name dropping. This is allowing, I think, people that love Jeffree or James or who don't to know what they're really like in real person, okay? So, first of all, I was shook when James Charles walked through the door. And that scene when they are like walking up the stairs was like one of my favorite scenes in the whole video. Okay. I've talked to James Charles quite a few times on the phone. He is super sweet. He is one of the nicest guys in the entire world. I mean, legit, he is, okay? Owns his shit from the past, knows he fucked up in the past, is just like wanting to be a right person, live a right life, and move forward. But I will tell you something, okay? Every time that I have ever talked to him, he is always like, hey, sister, this is a great, you know, and it's so funny because, like, the one part where Shane said something, sister something, he goes, no, that doesn't work. I was like, yes, but that is James, like 100%. When you talk to him, he's like, sister. It's so funny. And so that's very, very true. Now, the very first time that I talked to Jeffree Star on the phone, you have to understand, like, yes, I believe that people are people. I don't get real intimidated by people. I just don't. Like, you know, I don't know. It's like I could meet anybody, and at the end of the day, I'm like, we're just all people, you know, at the end. But I was a little nervous about talking to him, you know, or talking to him. And this is the thing, is because, A, I had said a lot of shit about him on video, and B, good or bad, I had talked a lot about him, and B, like, I had listened to Jeffree's music long before I ever knew Jeffree as a beauty influencer, then watched all these videos, then saw this life of Bentleys and Lamborghinis and pink houses, and I just was like, oh my God. And you kind of build up this fantasy in your head of who somebody is, I think. And so let me just tell you, when I talked to him on the phone, I believe he called me, and I was like, hey, and he was like, something like right out of the gate, he was like, hey girl, how are you? And I was like, okay, let me just say this to you, Jeffree, before we start this conversation. I said, you know, a couple years ago, if you had told me while I was driving around in my car with the windows down, singing at the top of my lungs, Beauty Killer, which is, I love that song so much. And he just started laughing. He was like, girl, I said, but I'm gonna tell you right now, if I met you tomorrow in person, I said, I would make you sing it to my face. And he goes, and I would too. So anyway, but one of the things that he said to me right away, like as we started talking, he was like, you know what? He goes, tell me about you. He goes, I don't know anything about you, and I really would like to get to know who you are as a person. And I really think that shows a lot, even back then, of who Jeffree was. You know, that like, he was just calling me to be kind. It wasn't anything deeper than that. Like, you know, and he asked about me. He wasn't like, oh, let me tell you about my makeup line. Let me tell you about my music. It was nothing like that. He was nothing like that at all. And we talked for quite some time. So, you know, the person that I'm seeing in this video is very similar to the people, or the person that I have witnessed with James and all these people, Shane and Jeffree, that I have witnessed personally. And I say that about Trisha Paytas too when I talk about Trisha Paytas. And you know, like, I really think at the end of the day, people are just people. I think the spin of editing and the way that we put things out there is confusing sometimes. But let's get into the video. I know y'all care less that I talk to these people. But I just wanted you guys to know that my experience personally, okay, hand to God, is no different in person than what I see on these videos, okay? Like, none whatsoever. So anyway, I'm watching this video, and I loved it from the very beginning, and then, you know, you're going to do the whole thing. I kind of predicted this yesterday, didn't I? I mean, I basically am the psychic of the world. I threw out some psychic predictions the other day on Twitter, and I'm just saying, like, I did, okay? So, anyway, but let's ask the magic 8-ball, because, you know, like, I am a psychic of the world. Some people use tarot cards. Some people do palms. Listen, when I want to know something that's the truth, I just go to the magic 8-ball. Why wouldn't you, okay? So, let me ask the magic 8-ball. Which, if you're a big girl like me, it also doubles for, like, the arm shaker, so it builds up your muscles. And, SilverDaddy.com. Okay, so anyway, you just do this, shake, it's shake and bake, and I helped. Will Jeffree Star be 100% honest in Shane's series? My double chin is shaking. Okay. Very doubtful, the magic 8-ball said. The magic 8-ball said 100%. Will Jeffree Star be 80% honest? 80%, I almost said 80%, 100%. 80% honest in Shane Dawson's video series? Most likely. So, see, I mean, she don't lie. We're going to get 80% of the truth up in this video, so I'm excited about it. Okay, so to see Shane Dawson, okay, the whole part about the sister this, sister that was absolutely hilarious, okay, to me. And I just think James is so sweet. I'm so glad they brought him in for the series. I thought he did a great job making him look like Jeffree Star. I love Jeffree just sitting there, like, spraying his face, drinking his Red Bull and all this kind of stuff. He's just like, who, what, completely aloof to the whole thing. And when he got in and he and Shane were talking about the music thing, that was a direction I did not see this series going. I really didn't. I thought a lot of the questions so far would have been about the friendships between, like, Manny and Laura and things like that, which I have to believe at some point, some degree of that will come out. If it doesn't, I will not understand why Shane didn't even go there. You know, here's the thing we have to remember a lot of times with interviews, okay? The interviewee or the person that's one, and I will say this about Shane. He didn't go into the series saying, I'm going in to get all the facts, okay? This was not a TanaCon investigation. It just wasn't, okay? This was him trading places with Jeffree Star. So that's a completely different video. So if he goes in and that's never asked, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and go, well, he didn't ask the rough ass questions, because that's not the purpose of this video series. It just isn't. But I will be kind of surprised if Shane doesn't kind of ask it in an indirect kind of way, like, have you had any issues with friends in the, you know, YouTube community, or, you know what I mean? I think he'll ask something. But remember, this is a, you know, an interview, or if you ever want to interview somebody, you can ask the question, they don't have to answer it. You can ask the question and they can decide how they answer it. So, you know, you could ask Jeffree Star a question, and I have, and they can give you a very political, positive response, which he has to me in the past. So, you know, I think, like, you don't have to drag somebody, but you can still be honest, if that makes sense. And I think that is what we will see. The music thing was very interesting to me. I didn't know anything about, I mean, I knew a little bit about him signing with Akon. When he started talking about it, I had remembered that back in the day, seeing the footage from that. But I didn't really remember a whole lot about it. I didn't know the story. I didn't know all that. And to see that that was like the tough, you know, here's the thing. When I was watching it, and he was like, this was like one of the most difficult times of my entire life, and I almost gave up. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, and I was like, you know, this is important for me to see this part. And I'm somebody that takes learning experiences from everything that I see, right? And so, like, I sat there and I was watching that, and I was like, okay, Jeffree Star, who was self-made on MySpace back in the day, and then signs this record deal and is going to be the next Lady Gaga, supposedly. Then he goes, oh, I will tell you this, by the way. Do not try to watch this video in 2x speed like I did. I had to dumb it down to 1.25 because they talk so fast, okay? I thought Trisha Paytas talked fast. I cannot watch Trisha Paytas videos past normal speed because everybody says we talk just as fast as we do. My video just came up on my thing and it was like at 2x speed, and I was like, oh my Lord, how do people ever listen to me at 2x speed? But anyway, you know, to see Jeffree Star, who, like, basically grew up, you know, middle class, got, you know, made himself on MySpace, and then had this record deal, and then he talks about the taxes in there and everything, which I thought was so interesting from a financial point of view, and that financially he was at the lowest he'd ever been, to now see him living in Calabasas in this amazing house and have these amazing cars and private jets and a closet that's worth $8 million. I thought to myself, you know, like, this is a moment of inspiration. This is a moment of motivation to anybody out there. No, not all of us are going to live in a house with an $8 million closet. It's just not going to happen, okay? But to really believe in yourself enough to know ain't nobody going to keep me down is maybe the message a little bit of Jeffree Star. And the way that Shane is weaving through some of this, to me, is so well done. Like, when Jeffree was talking about how MySpace back in the day, like, he would walk down the street and people would spit on him, throw water in his face, spray water in his face, and, you know, like, 4 guys took him down and all this kind of stuff. You know, to hear those stories and to understand, like, that he grew up kind of, you know, in this environment of aggression and chaos makes a lot of sense on why the last 10 years on YouTube and social media, we've seen a lot of aggression and chaos from Jeffree Star. And as somebody that grew up in a lot of chaos myself, you know, it's really hard to resist that and get out of that at some time. I think at this point in his life, this is why he's removed a lot of toxicity around him. I think this is why he did the apology video, you know, a year ago. I think he's really trying to clean up the wreckage of his past. This is what I'm hoping, okay? This is not me giving him, you know, a free pass. This is what I'm hoping for him, is that he has decided today that I don't want to live in that toxicity anymore. I want to rid the wreckage of my past. I want to look at where I've come from. Like, whenever he says in videos, like, I never forget where I've came from, I think that's very, very important to always remember where we came from, you know? And look at where we're at now and have a lot of gratitude for that. And I do think he has tons of gratitude. That's one thing that I've always kind of witnessed through his videos. Like, I don't feel like he takes it for granted, you know? I watch a lot of beauty influencers, a lot of YouTubers, just YouTubers in general, and I see a lot of, like, entitlement and, I don't know, just this lack of gratitude in their videos. And I won't ever say that I don't think that Jeffree knows he lives a very charmed life, but he seems very grateful about a lot of it. And I'm hoping that's what we continue to see through the next couple videos. You know, there's 3 parts left of the series. There's Friday, and then I hope it's Saturday and Sunday. I hope he just bumps them out right away, because then I'll have a video every day for the next 4 days. But on top of that, I'm excited to see what happens with this. This is Jeffree's moment to take away the veil and come out of this series saying, this is who I am now, take me or leave me, but now you know everything about me, and I'm moving forward, and I love myself, and I love the people around me. And I hope that's what comes out of this series. I'm super impressed with parts 1 and part 2 already, and I'm really excited to see what happens with part 3. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, what you think of the whole thing. Are you loving it? Are you not loving it? And I'll see you later, sisters. Bye, sisters.